Hello, and welcome to Mean Street News. Mean Street News is here to provide accurate news to help citizens affect change in their local government and beyond. Being nice is overrated. It is time to be real. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. The time to step up and step in is now. So please come join me, Katie, over on Mean Street News to discuss Ohio politics and beyond. I hope to see you there. Hello, and welcome to Mean Street News. Mean Street News is here to provide accurate news to help citizens affect change in their local government and beyond. Being nice is overrated. It is time to be real. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. The time to step up and step in is now. So please come join me, Katie, over on Mean Street News to discuss Ohio politics and beyond. I hope to see you there. Hello, and welcome to Mean Street News. Mean Street News is here to provide accurate news to help citizens affect change in their local government and beyond. Being nice is overrated. It is time to be real. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. The time to step up and step in is now. So please come join me, Katie, over on Mean Street News to discuss Ohio politics and beyond. I hope to see you there. Hello, and welcome to Mean Street News. Mean Street News is here to provide accurate news to help citizens affect change in their local government and beyond. Being nice is overrated. It is time to be real. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. The time to step up and step in is now. So please come join me, Katie, over on Mean Street News to discuss Ohio politics and beyond. I hope to see you there. Hello, and welcome to Mean Street News. Mean Street News is here to provide accurate news to help citizens affect change in their local government and beyond. Being nice is overrated. It is time to be real. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. The time to step up and step in is now. So please come join me, Katie, over on Mean Street News to discuss Ohio politics and beyond. I hope to see you there. Hello, and welcome to Mean Street News. Mean Street News is here to provide accurate news to help citizens affect change in their local government and beyond. Being nice is overrated. It is time to be real. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. The time to step up and step in is now. So please come join me, Katie, over on Mean Street News to discuss Ohio politics and beyond. I hope to see you there. Hello, and welcome to Mean Street News. Mean Street News is here to provide accurate news to help citizens affect change in their local government and beyond. Being nice is overrated. It is time to be real. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. The time to step up and step in is now. So please come join me, Katie, over on Mean Street News to discuss Ohio politics and beyond. I hope to see you there. Hello, and welcome to Mean Street News. Mean Street News is here to provide accurate news to help citizens affect change in their local government and beyond. Being nice is overrated. It is time to be real. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. The time to step up and step in is now. So please come join me, Katie, over on Mean Street News to discuss Ohio politics and beyond. I hope to see you there. Hello, and welcome to Mean Street News. Mean Street News is here to provide accurate news to help citizens affect change in their local government and beyond. Being nice is overrated. It is time to be real. I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. The time to step up and step in is now. So please come join me, Katie, over on Main Street News to discuss Ohio politics and beyond. I hope to see you there. Hello, and welcome to Main Street News. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Main Street News. Again, Katie, if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you. I appreciate the support. I'm wearing my glasses because I have a lot of reading to do, and I don't want to be looking like this, you know what I mean? So I decided today I was going to wear my glasses. I think I fixed my mic setting. It was off a little bit, and I think it's because I had the wrong setting. It's a new mic, so I just have to get used to it. But hopefully I don't have the cracking that I did the last episode. If you listen on the podcast platforms, I won't have that. Oh, I gotta flip my glasses up so you don't get a glare. Today, since it's a Saturday morning, I want to talk about another character in this story. I haven't really brought him up too much because he did not join the board until 2023. He won his election by 136 votes. That is, that's a very, very close margin. So his election was very contentious. He ran on transparency, but I don't want to tell you too much about him. I want to, in a little bit, discuss that further. But real quick, last night I posted a video on Facebook of County Administrative Assistant John Gall and Lorain County Recorder Mike Duran, previously named Mike Fetterman, and their altercation back in December of 2023. We're going to go over that a little further, but I wanted to post that to show you guys just an example of retaliatory behavior from Commissioner Hung's associates towards other, and even in the same party, political appointments. The radio investigation was quite contentious at that time, and so Commissioner, and we'll start where I started off. Commissioner Jeff Riddell won his election in November of 2022 by 136 votes. After winning, he asked the board, and I'm going to play that video shortly, if he could be a part of the executive session so there would be a smooth transition. Also, because I think there was worry about what was actually being discussed in those executive sessions. So we're going to play that clip real quick. And then I'm going to show you, really what his first day in office looked like, which was kind of crazy. And Commissioner Moore's statements as well that day, and why it was so contentious and crazy. So let's watch this first.
Good morning, Commissioners. And I just want to thank everybody. I started yesterday. I visited the building, trying to get used to the lay of the land in the hallways, and talked to a few people, and was very appreciative of the opportunity as well as the reception. Commissioner Lundy had offered that we would have a smooth transition, and I appreciate that. I want to work towards that end, and so I want to make myself available not only for the meetings here, but for the executive sessions that follow those, so that I can get up to speed as soon as possible on the issues that are going, so that we don't have to wait for me to get caught up. My understanding is that if the commissioners vote if I have 2 votes, that I can join that meeting as well as any other vendor or any other presenter. So I will tell you, I promise to respect the sanctity and the privacy of the executive session. So with that, I look forward to joining you and hoping that you can help me get up to speed so that we don't have to hit a wall on January the 1st. Thank you.
Okay. That was the only public comment. So we can move on to
So he asked, since I have been elected, commissioner of Lorain County, I want to, join, I want to be a part of these executive sessions so I don't have to skip a beat coming into office. And you can clearly see that request was just ignored. They didn't even respond. So clearly Lundy and Hung didn't want the elected commissioner coming in before the organizational meeting, and they can invite anybody into executive sessions. So I just found that really telling. So I gotta stop saying why am I bringing this up? Because this guy was elected to office, and his first day was being attacked, basically told that he, isn't going to support the safety forces because of this contract, and, how horrible he was. And we're going to give you a little bit of an example, and then I'm going to play what he said his first day of, actually, no, I'm not going to give you an example. We're going to play what Commissioner Riddell and Moore said the day that they rescinded the I think it was 7.7 at the time, $7.7 million contract to Cleveland Communications Inc. on December 21st of 2022. It was a special meeting because it wasn't regularly scheduled. They scheduled this meeting at the beginning of December. They passed the RFP for accepting the bid from CCI in October of 2021, but they waited until the last day in power in a special meeting to pass the contract, all knowing, all of them knew that that contract was going to be rescinded a little over 2 weeks later by the new Board of Commissioners. The Lorain County prosecutor passed that, approved that RFP that CCI submitted on December 19th, 2 days before they went in and passed a multi-million-dollar contract the last day Michelle and Matt Lundy were in power. And I think that is very, very telling of their of the behavior that had gone on 18 months previous with Commissioner Moore. I think it shows their character. It shows the drive that they wanted to get this through, and it shows that they did it so crazy because and it really doesn't understand. I really don't understand why they did it like that, because they could have passed this contract in October, November. I think they waited because it was election season. It was right before November when the RFP was approved. They say that because they were waiting on the prosecutor's office. I could see that also, but I don't think it was really appropriate to wait to the last hour to pass a multi-million-dollar contract that was being questioned by the new electorate, and right before a new board came in to take control. So what we're going to do is we are going to share my screen. Oh, hold on. Oh no. I gotta open this. Just give me 2 seconds. Of course, I had them all saved. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. So he's newly elected. He ran on transparency. We're going to see what he said before he was elected here shortly. We're going to go through his interview because I found it fascinating. But the first thing we are going to do is see how his first day in office came. Now, this is his response after all of the safety forces, the usual suspects, came up and basically just, you're horrible when something happens and blah, blah, blah. All these safety forces people, though, I want to be very, very clear here. Every single one of the safety force people and people that spoke knew prior to this meeting that contract was going to be rescinded. They knew when they passed the contract that it was going to be rescinded. They made their statements very clear, the new board coming on, that we were going to take a double look at this contract and see if it's really in the best interest of the Lorain County taxpayers, because there were questions about how Michelle and Harry went about getting it passed. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to share my screen.
A couple of statements. Number one, my name is Riddell. Bobby Rydell was a singer, although most of you are probably too young to remember him, but my name is Riddell, so I'd appreciate that. Secondly, I appreciate those who came in today and did not impugn my character by trying to make it appear that I am not concerned about the safety of the law enforcement or the fire or any other safety forces. That's absolutely not true. Just because we have a difference of opinion does not mean that my difference is based on safety. I've been very clear from the beginning, and to the individual who spoke to my manning up and keeping my integrity, I campaigned last year on the very concept that this contract was not done. Its first 18 months of life were a no-bid contract that should not be allowed by anyone, including those in this room, of their tax money. It was then ruled that it would go out to bid. It went out to bid. Then the bid constraint came back that two of the vendors needed a little extra time because they did not have the advantage of the relationship with Mission Critical. That additional time was denied, and 15 days was allowed. So the other parties they gave us the courtesy of a no bid to show us that they couldn't bid. It was not on technical reasons, it was on time. And the commissioners at that time declared that there was an emergency. They needed to do only 15 days.
So I want to be clear here. When he says it passed emergency, when Motorola Marks, they were on behalf of Marks, went and said, we have questions about this RFP. We would like more time to, look at it. Motorola was told pretty much, CCI came in and did the same thing, and then Motorola was told, 14 days because of an emergency, that they were in such a rush. But then when CCI it got the bid in October and submitted the bid, and Motorola sent their no letter, and which we'll go over tomorrow. And Vasu sent in, nobody talks about Vasu, but Vasu sent in their radio bid, partial bid. That RFP that was accepted was then held till December 19th. And then they waited to the last day in office to pass, to accept the contract, to award the contract officially. That's what he's talking about. He's in a NOPIT, and the NOPIT contract was what we talked about yesterday, that June 14th meeting. I just had to interrupt there.
I asked this question. If in August it was an emergency and we could only allow 15 days, why was it not on the commissioner's docket until December 21st? And to those who like to argue about the details to try and cloud the conversation, it was a special meeting. It was not scheduled to happen until early December. It was a special meeting to clear the board and do some things, including this contract. So with those facts, I would like to remind you that we are here to represent everyone in Lorain County. We are all for, I am, an intercommunicative system of radios or whatever it takes, towers, so that all our forces, in the case of man-made or natural event, can communicate with each other safely. Number two, I don't have a dog in the hunt as far as brands or whatever. I only know Motorola because our company used to use Motorola radios. That's all I know about Motorola. I was honest with the chiefs that met with me in what I had not complete reading on certain facts, because my position is not based on the brand or the technical information included. I know that I will eventually need to be up to speed on that, but this issue is not about that. In our motion today, the reason I support it, I'm not exactly sure why anybody else would, but I supported it because we campaigned on it last year. It was a bad deal. There are questions. It is being investigated. And if we terminate it now, we can terminate it without undue cost to either the vendor or the county. And the threat of lawsuit, anybody can sue anybody any day. So I fail to understand there are times we're going to do the right thing and we're going to get sued anyway, and we're going to have to defend ourselves. But I am committed to doing what I believe is the right thing to do. And I don't have all the information on the technical issues of the equipment, but I have a wealth of experience in contracts and bidding, and this one is not right. To those who say we have to do it because lives are at stake tomorrow, I get it. But don't think that means I'm not concerned about public safety. But if this thing is important enough to spend 4 years on, from 19 till now, actually about 3, we still are in January of 23, then another couple of months to make sure we do it right and spend the taxpayers' money well should not be that big an issue. And the implication that we're not safe going forward means we're not safe today. I don't believe that. I believe we could be better, we could operate better, but I don't see everybody dying because of where we're at today. Now, I remind everyone in the room my perspective.
Easy.
I didn't interrupt anybody.
I did.
Okay.
Those people booing in the background are deputies, are chiefs of fire, a chief of police, I believe, I think only one. And that's how they're treating their representatives. They say to have, respect for law enforcement, and they are showing such disrespect to a person who is newly elected, and this is his first day. This is his first day. And he's having to defend the bad behavior of the previous two commissioners, Lundy and Michelle Hung. I mean, booing him. The level of immaturity and the level of disrespect for someone that is giving their time to hold office and has been pretty upfront with everybody about where they stand. And it gets worse over the next 2 years. It gets a lot worse. And that's what, the Chronicle doesn't report. They don't report, the crowd booing. They don't report the nasty comments. They report the narrative and the picture that they want to for the public. It's very disappointing.
Lastly, when it comes to my objectivity and to my integrity, I met with everyone who called. I was here at the meeting on the 21st because I knew that this would be an issue. I was approached by the president of the sheriff's deputies who said he's going to call me to go for a ride along. I said, I'll be there. The call never came. You never said that. I talked to him on Sunday.
I come back tonight at 11, show on up. Raise my point of information on the
Okay.
which have already approved. Commissioner Raydale identified or enumerated the number of commissioner meetings he attended prior to December 21st to even raise the issue of this particular subject.
I attended 4 commissioner meetings prior to the 21st.
I didn't ask how many you attended, I asked how many you raised this issue. You campaigned on it, so you had to know it for a long time, because you
Oh, he just said it. You campaigned on it. So he did campaign on it. He did campaign on this radio contract and the lack of transparency and the issues that he had. So the safety forces are now just admitting that. They knew he was going to be rescinding this contract when they passed it 2 weeks prior to this meeting. And the yelling at him, he's just walking into this situation. I mean, I know that he campaigned on it, but he even says, I don't know the technicalities of this system. I'm going to be learning this. I am learning this. Give me some time. Why not look into this and make sure everything's above board? Because clearly there are questions.
campaigned long enough, or many times did you raise this issue as an issue at the commissioners' meetings prior to December the 24th?
I did not.
Thank you.
But we need to be clear, have a little bit of perspective. The ARPA money is not monopoly money. It is our money, including everyone in this room. And it's money that we're spending that we've not yet paid. And I take it seriously that this $8 million represents the income taxes of the future of over 2,000 Lorain residents. And it deserves to be spent well. And that's all there is to it. It's not $6.5 million. We've heard 7.9 million, 7.8 million. Let's negotiate. That's not how you spend public money. And that is my issue. Public safety, I am committed to having an interface between every first responder in this county. But we're going to have to do it the right way.
The clapping, because you yelled, and he said that he didn't speak publicly at a meeting, but he attended meetings and he campaigned on the fact that he was going to be running against this contract because it's been questionable for the last 2 years. And if you read the county sheriff's report, nothing happened between 21 and 22 regarding the radios. So there's a huge lie there. There's a, fallacy in that report. There's an error. Yeah. So they come in, berate them, boo them, and this can't feel good. Your first day on the job, you're coming in thinking like maybe you're going to be a mediator here between, what's been going on the last 2 years, maybe a voice of reason, and they don't even give you the opportunity because, you're rescinding the contract less than a little over 2 weeks after they pass it on the last day in office, that they possibly could pass it as like this power move. And I think they did it so they could just honestly then start, the politicking and the issues and honestly I call them chaos coordinators. That's because that's what they are. They just cause chaos, just stir up emotion, stir up drama. In all actuality, no one knows what they're even talking about. They're following a narrative that's being painted for them by people that needed to get paid for this contract. And what's so funny is the bid started at 6.4, no bid contract, right? And Dana Gollner made a statement that says, you can't pay me my $600,000 fee. Well, then just up the amount. And what did Michelle Mundy do? So it jumped from a $6.4 million bid to a 7.7 in 18 months. Is that because everybody needed to get paid, like Dana Gollner said to the state auditor? Because everybody needed to, line their pockets. By the way, I found in a Morning Journal article yesterday, and just because I'm bringing up the, investigation. In April and June, how I said yesterday, those are so important, how Harry's hooked. Well, Michelle effed him too, because guess what she said? We started to ignore Commissioner David Moore after things got and things got contentious in April and June of 21, things just started falling apart. Well, is that after she asked them for a 6.4 no bid contract for her friend and company Cleveland Communications, and Dave Moore walked out of the meeting and said, no, this isn't going to happen, and then you oust him and elect a Democrat in order to get this contract passed, and then you spend the next 18 months fighting it, the next 18 months causing issues with Dave, ousting your Republican counterpart, betraying your Republican voters who voted you in, your constituents, going back on everything that you said that you would do. I mean, it's not even appropriate for her to be acting in this manner, and we'll go over that here shortly, but this is her lobbying for one section of people, safety forces out of the entire county of things that needed to be done. She spent all she did for the entire time that she was in office was bitch about radios that we've never in the history of Lorain County paid for. So let's go over what Dave Moore said that day, and then we're gonna, get to know. Since we already got to know more, we're going to get to know Commissioner Jeff Riddell a little bit today. You need to know him before we go further because of, what goes on the next 2 years while he's county commissioner to today. And it's early, and I don't want to blow up your brain with a bunch of info. I think that's better to do to you, maybe tomorrow in the evening when I come back on and we go over the second half of the sheriff's report. Today is going to be just as salacious, but it's Saturday morning. Let's woosah into this, and I really think it's good to get to know the people that I'm going to be talking about that were center stage in this. I haven't played the safety forces guys yet, or Aiden yet, or Michelle yet, because honestly, it's just the same repetitive nonsense. We will be looking at little clips from them, but I don't really want to give them the spotlight to spew lies at you any more than I actually have to. Now, am I going to be posting those videos because they're relevant to the investigation and I have integrity? Yes. But I'm not going to give them, I'm going to give them as little light as possible here because I don't think I don't want to perpetuate their bullshit, to be honest with you. So let's see, take a look at what Dave says. This is the first day of the new board organizational meeting, January 9th, 2023. And this is going to be Dave speaking after Jeff. Give me 2 seconds. Let me share my screen. All right, we're going to Dave. All right, Dave, here we go.
That is pretty similar to what happened in March of '01. Pretty much the room was filled this much back in March of '01 when I exposed the Justice Center when it bloated out to $80 million. We did a reset. Everybody thought they were going to die. Judges in here accusing me of their safety because they were in the old Justice Center. I was being vilified like I am today. And guess what? We came in on time, on budget. We did a reset. Excuse me, sir, I'm speaking. We did a reset, and we got it in on time, on budget. But guess what? Some people went to jail over it, over the process. Now, we're doing a reset on $8 million today. Now, that's what part of the reset's going to be. So there's a lot of elected officials in here that are also calling me up going, how much is this going to cost our communities if you guys move forward on this radio? Because a lot of letters were sent out after the vote asking people, asking their communities to say, we need you to support this. What's it going to cost us? Okay, there was not a lot of opportunity for those officials to get buy-in. Now, that buy-in's happening now. Okay, so what happened, well, I'm going to go back just what happened on March 15th. There's some meetings, I know they're not on. Take a look at that meeting where I exposed the actual ORC violations. Take a look at the March 15th, 2022 meeting. That's very key for what happened here today. On March 15th, we were talking about approving a budget to hire mission critical to help us out with the RFP request. Take a look at the work. They bring an independent and objective perspective to every engagement, and that's a priority for them. Okay, that sounds good. They also stated that there were vendor neutrality is a value that underpins every aspect that they do. That sounds even better. Okay. They claim to be free of bias or favoritism to any specific product or service provider. Okay, I thought, okay, this is sounding good. This is what their cover letter said on a 10-page scope of work. And inside that scope of work that we were going to vote on March 15th, it didn't mention Harris. It might have mentioned Harris and Motorola maybe once or twice. But it mentioned a vendor 26 times. A vendor. I asked the county, I sat there and said, I have a problem with this. I'm just recapping. And at the time, Commissioner Lundy said, we don't do anything unless we run it by the prosecutor, in which the prosecutor said, I have not seen this contract. That's what happened on March 15th. You know, we're just doing a reset. It's $8 million, folks. I see there's people here from the city of Lorain, elected officials, city of Elyria. I'm going to call them up and ask them, how much do you want to help us out? You know, I'd like to participate, but that's it. And the discussion.
No, he didn't ask him to up. He said, I haven't heard from any elected officials, and this is what Dave means by that. And later, this will be actually proven in December of 2023. Jeff Armbruster, the newly hired in March, I want to say, don't quote me on that, but newly hired county administrator will go on to say that, you know, how these MOUs have been done has been is somewhat inappropriate. The fire chiefs should not be they should be not be in front of the board of commissioners. What they should be doing is they should be in front of their city councils and discussing with their mayors their needs. Then their mayors and their city councilmen should be advocating for them at the commissioners, since ultimately the decision for radios is the city's responsibility. And now I'm going to play you a quick video, what I mean between radios and broadband telecommunications, that I found a little helpful, because I know that gets confusing when I keep saying, like, we're not here to purchase radios, and Cleveland Communications doesn't have a broad band telecommunications system like a tower. They don't build towers. They put equipment on the county's tower, on different cities' towers, in order for their equipment to work. And what would we end up doing with these contracts, instead of building the county's infrastructure and building broadband telecommunication towers, we were going to be purchasing radios, not anything too broad, radios from CCI, and allowing them and paying them a service fee to use their broadband to connect radios, save your cell phone connecting, you know what I mean, for their area. However, and this is the thing, we would forever be paying a service charge to a private vendor and creating money and giving them money to build their infrastructure privately, a private company. And a private company having access to your data, and a private company that doesn't hold an FCC licensure. They sublet that from the city of Avon. They don't have their own towers. They wouldn't be giving a return on investment to the Lorain County taxpayers at all. They'd actually be bleeding the Lorain County taxpayers dry, which they're doing. And Weatherby will say this in a news statement, it's going to cost municipalities more. Yeah, because you guys went ahead and signed a contract with Cleveland Communications when you could have gone through the county for a lot less. That was your decision and your mayors and council people. That's not the board of commissioners. So let me play you this video real quick about what I mean by towers versus radios.
In the summer of 2017, two devastating hurricanes hit Texas and Florida. Rescue and recovery teams continued to communicate and operate even in the midst of high winds, flooding, and power outages. Which can be located for better coverage, easier access, or stronger security. With fewer sites, it is easier to prepare the network for a disaster, installing generators and storing fuel. And in the midst of a disaster, fewer resources are needed to perform repairs and deliver supplies, so personnel can focus on response and rescue. Land mobile radio networks are resilient. If a segment becomes disconnected from the network, it continues to operate and users can still communicate. And even if no infrastructure is available, radios can talk to each other directly using their high-power transmitters. This is especially valuable in remote locations or when coverage is difficult. Like the network, the device in your hand needs to suit the conditions you work in. Radios keep you connected even when you face environments with zero visibility. Need a battery that lasts a full 12 hours? Or wear protective equipment or heavy gloves? Whatever your environment, your radio is designed to let you focus on your work, knowing that help is just a button press away. Every day, field personnel rely on mission-critical land mobile radio to stay in touch, keeping our communities safe and thriving. With unmatched power, proven resilience, and purpose-built devices, LMR is the core of mission-critical voice networks.
Okay, so look at this graphic. Look what they're showing you. They're showing you a tower, right? Towers. And then they're showing you a device. So these two things are separate, right? What we're going to be doing in the contract that was actually passed in December of 23, a new contract, this is what we'll be building. The cities can pick whatever radios that they want. If they want an L3 Harris, if they want a Motorola, if they want a Kenmark, they can use whatever radio. What the county's worried about is this right here. To be able to have connectivity in the rural areas, which I hear rumors that there's issues with, that being a possibility with CCI, since I don't think they're really infrastructure out there. And don't quote me on that, but that's what I've heard from people. It was never about radios. The county, and that's why I say it was a misappropriation of ARPA dollars, because if you really think about ARPA dollars, they're supposed to be used for broadband telecommunication system. Marks is a broadband telecommunication system. Radios are a tool that you use on the system. Radios have never in the history of Lorain County, for the 1,000th time, been purchased by Lorain County, except for the sheriff's office. The municipalities have forever been responsible for their own purchase of radios. That's why this contract was suspect. That's why this contract was being questioned. I have 2 more quick videos to show you, and then we're going to get to Jeff's interviews. Oh, no. This one real quick. I want to show you. Mark's tower goes live. Do-do-do-do.
We were out today at the ribbon cutting, for lack of a better phrase. Is one of 4 towers now in Wayne County.
We're here at the New Pittsburgh Tower, and we would like you to go ahead and light that tower.
I just hit the button.
All right, he just hit the button. So
The site is now wide trunking
it's white.
and on the air. Site 62 New Pittsburgh is on the air.
Site 62 New Pittsburgh is now on the air. Hey, thank you very much.
To give increased coverage to the western portion of not only Wayne County, but also the eastern portion of Ashland County. We're very excited about the increased radio of the partnership that we've created with the Marks radio system. It's been phenomenal over the past about 6 months now that we've been using it. Could not be more pleased with the coverage that we received.
I forgot to mute myself. Sorry. So I wanted to show you that little clip because look at what, when they say marks, they're talking about towers. They're not talking about radios, they're talking about towers. So when they keep saying radio system, they're saying radio system, they're talking about radios. It's the only thing that we purchase. We'd be purchasing radios and we would be paying CCI service fee to use their equipment that's on our towers that, you know, we pay for. And that's another thing about the towers is Michelle, you know, is charging CCI $1,500 a month for our Burns Road tower, but she tried to charge Dick Miller of Marks $5,000 a month for the same lease agreement, which it didn't happen. But why would you charge a competitor, you know, $3,500 more a month for the same kind of like leasing spot? Because you're trying to get rid of that competition, because you want to give the second spot to Cleveland Communications, who said they needed both spots on that tower in order for their system to operate fully back in 2020. I don't know, but I really want people to get to know Jeff. I want you first to we're going to play a video from one of our favorite people, Mr. Eden Fogel, one of his attacks against Commissioner Riddell. And let's do this. And I just want to give this as just an example of what he put up with before we listened to what he said before he got elected about what he wanted to do in his purpose here. So let's listen to, like I said, I usually don't want to give these people a platform, but I want to give you, the public, an example of the type of vitriol comments and personal attacks from friends of Michelle Hung. Now, Aiden Fogel, I reached out to him originally. I wanted to know, you know, kind of what he was doing. So we have mutual friends. Like I said, I've known who Aiden Fogel is for over probably I've known him. I've never been friends with him because I don't associate with. So I was questioning why Aiden Fogel, of all people, is up at the commissioner's office, you know, advocating for Michelle Hung. He says in this little clip, he'll say, you know, I wrote this myself, because he told me while on the phone one day that, you know, Harry and Michelle edit his speeches and, you know, kind of, you know, tell him, you know, his parameters of where he needs to go. When I went to a commissioner's meeting and I told her that I knew this firsthand from Aiden's mouth, his speeches weren't so put together after that. So I think she stopped doing that for a little bit. But let's give you an example, and then let's get to know who Jeff Riddell is truly, and not what, you know, the dumpster fires report. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay, window. Okay, I'll share all right, share the entire screen. Okay. I'm gonna mute myself.
Aiden Fogel, Sheffield Lake. So by my own independent research, through public record requests, without the benefit of assistance from anyone else, I believe that I have discovered the reason that Jeff Riddell rescinded the CCI radio contract.
This is about, no. This is not on the agenda. This is not on the agenda. It's not on the agenda.
Okay, you're going to censor my words?
You can come back next week and do your usual campaigning for Michelle. But right now, it's about the jail.
Okay, will you let me finish?
I am. Go ahead.
Okay. And why he is giving the Lorain County Sheriff so much grief over budget items, number 13 on the agenda. It is because Jeff Riddell thinks that the cops try to screw him every time, as evidenced in the following Lorain County Sheriff's Department narrative 200103724 that I'm going to share in part today due to time constraints. While on patrol, this deputy observed a silver Ford SUV vehicle turn southbound on State Route 57 off of State Route 254. The vehicle was further observed to travel over the center line of the roadway on several occasions, nearly striking several other vehicles, also traveling southbound on State Route 57. The vehicle was stopped and personal contact was made with the operator, Jeffrey F. Riddell. Note, at first contact, Mr. Riddell was on his cellular telephone and advised his deputy that he was contacting his attorney.
If you're not going to talk about the agenda, you can stop campaigning for Michelle right now.
This is county business.
It's not about,
Sure it is.
Aiden, you've
Sure
been
it is.
campaigning for Michelle for all
This has
year.
nothing to do with Michelle
It
Hung.
does.
I didn't say Michelle's
You
name
have
one
been the
time.
voice for her
I
all
didn't
year,
say this
Aiden.
one
You've been
time.
the voice for her all
I didn't
year.
say this one time.
No, he's done. He's done. He's done.
Then have me removed. Then have me
I can't
removed.
believe that you
Then
guys.
have me removed.
No, I'm not going to have you
Okay,
removed.
Mr. Riddell did exit his vehicle as
no. That's like-
requested. As Mr. Riddell exited
The law enforcement officers in the back are cheering him on. Yeah, let's bash this guy who, you know what I mean, had a situation and a run-in with the police like we all don't know somebody that has. But let's defame him because we're not getting our way. Let's use bully tactics to, you know, push and defame his character, slander his name. And I'm not saying he was innocent or guilty, but like come on, people. I know people that have gotten, you know, in trouble with drinking and driving. It's not uncommon. It doesn't mean you have a problem, and nobody, and he's just doing this for malicious purposes. And you have people that are in positions of power in the back of the room cheering on Aiden Fogel, the Lorain County snitch. BFS with Stametti, but at the same thing has his own deal on the side. And the Lorain County snitch is Michelle Hung's the biggest advocate, who had been all year going up there and just, you know, you're this, you're that, you're that. And this is another example of one of Michelle's minions. I'm about to play another one of Michelle's minions, you know, trying to change a narrative, trying to portray these people like they're bad people because of because of one contract that he rescinded because it was questionable to him to spend taxpayer dollars on radios that the county's never in history purchased. And this behavior has been going on since. It's still going on today. Chaos coordinators.
exited his vehicle. He stumbled and required assistance of his vehicle to maintain a vertical position while walking to the rear of his vehicle.
Nothing to do with.
Once at the rear of Mr. Riddell's vehicle, he sobriety test.
I can't believe they're applauding. Let's applaud the felon for defending the cops. Okay, let's talk about what's really going on here today, okay?
Do you have an answer to any of that?
No. We're here to talk about the jail. Here we go.
Your emails that you sent me made no sense.
Number one, the jail and the issue with the garage and everything else started because we all know the jail was in rough shape. In April of 21, we ordered to have a jail actually reviewed. That was started in April. We received that consultation back in
They're cheering on the Lorain County snitch, felon. You know, I could say a lot more because, you know, Aiden, you know I know. You know what I mean? I mean, I could list names on, you know, who's dealt with you. Just because when I was going in high school, I was part of the epidemic generation. Actually, I was probably the start of that epidemic. It started with the oxys, and I've lost a total of very close friends, about 12, 18 total known that I graduated with. Not bad people, just drug addicts. A lot of them, got hooked on oxy because they had an injury from high school or something and were prescribed oxys, and just the trajectory. I also know a lot of people that have fought that fight over the years and have gotten sober, and I'm, very proud. But, Aiden was a part of a lot of that. We'll just say that. So the fact that Commissioner Michelle Hung is associating herself, all the sheriff's deputies, and the fire chief, or so all the sheriff's deputies, Shaw, sorry, I apologize. I don't want to loop everybody in with a couple, bad apples, and I support safety forces, but, Adam Shaw, who works for Phil Stamets, and the president of the Deputies Association, is advocating with Aiden Fogel. It is something, it stinks to high heaven with this situation. And Aiden wasn't the only victim. There was another victim. Jeff Driddell's administrative assistant, John Gall. He was, I posted last night. I want to go through this real quick. Let me share so you guys can see. Look at my Facebook. Share this. We are going to go here. Back in December, Lorain County Recorder Michael Duran. Okay. So, what I'm showing you here, let me see if I can. I'm showing you here. I want to put this side by side. Okay. So what I'm showing you here is December 23rd, a few months after this, actually right before the new radio, new broadband telecommunication system was being negotiated. Our Lorain County recorder, Mike Duran, decided to play petty games with Administrator John Gall. And I said yesterday it was his parking spot, and I messed that up. This parking spot was to a previous administrator. I wrote down the notes so I don't forget this. I want to pull it up real quick. And this is County Commissioner Driddell's new administrative assistant, John Gall, who was Michelle Hung's previous administrative assistant. He left Michelle when all of this nonsense started happening, and she started attacking people in the county and in the office, and he did not want to be associated with Michelle anymore. But the parking spot was not his, Fetterman's or Duran's, the Lorain County Recorders, or his assistant spot. Many years ago, Judy Nedwick had two spots, one for the recorder and one for the deputy recorder. She asked for a special spot for an office friend, and the spot was labeled Assistant Deputy Recorder. Throughout 2023, the parking spot was used by Matt Spears, and at times Mike Fetterman or Mike Duran, County Recorder's wife, Christine Duran, when she did the administrative building. And that was in court documents. She testified to that. And it was in court documents because they tried to, get a restraining order on John after this incident. And I just want to go through the footage real quick without the sound. I want you guys to see it. I'm going to tell you my opinion here, what they did. So you see, this is right here. This gold car is John Gall's car, administrative assistant to Commissioner Jeff Driddell. Mike Duran, recorder. Mike Fetterman is his first legal name. He is and his wife Christina are very good friends with County Commissioner. I mean, very good friends. County Commissioner Michelle Hung. He was also part of the Lorain County Republicans of Lorain County when I joined. He was one of the main facilitators to use Lorain County Young Republicans' name to attack Jeff Riddell and Dave Moore in the name of like another Republican organization to make them look bad, give them credibility. And I found that out pretty quickly. So he has, he was going after Michelle's enemies on behalf of Michelle. She's a pattern of, having people, do her dirt. Here he walks up and he sees this is Bear. Also works in the county, but what's funny is these two, Jeff Bayer and Mike Duran, ran against each other. Jeff as a Democrat, Mike as a Republican in the primary for Lorain County Recorder. And they're fast friends, and I just find that interesting that Jeff Bayer here is going to help Mike. So you see Mike pull up, okay? Shortly afterwards, we're going to see Jeff walk out. Oh, come on. So he calls his friend. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So I just want to fast forward because I don't take too long on this, but it's just another form of, retaliation against other people associated with the commissioners. So here you see Jeff. Here's Jeff Bayer. Here's my man running against her by about a month ago. Friends before then too. I think they colluded there and said, you run as a Democrat, I run as a Republican, either of us win. You know what I mean? Yeah, not a good look. So they leave, right? And look at the time, 9:18, right? They leave, they pull up. Nobody's in that spot. Nobody's in that spot. Now, see, pulls in. Hold on, let me show it's. Okay, he pulls in. This is Mike Duran. This is Christine Duran's car. He pulls in, right? He pulls in. He pulls in pretty close, right? But, not close enough. He has to, hold on. Oh, no, get closer. So he pulls out. And he pulls back in. And look how freaking close he gets to that car. So what he ultimately did is he ultimately blocked Mike in. I mean, John Gall into his car. He couldn't, get out of it. And look at 3 times, not once, not twice, but 3 times he pulls in and out to get as close as possible as he possibly can. Okay. This is what? 9:20, 5 to 7 later. Okay, and look, here's just another view. So he pulls out, pulls in, gets out, takes a picture, walks back to work. And there's a picture here I want to show you. Oh, so Gall doesn't have a key fob thing, so he cannot get into his car, and the way he can't even squeeze in to get it. Look how close that is. I mean, any of us would be absolutely pissed. Look. Now, Lorain County dumpster fire, they reported this incident as, kind of made John Gall just this weirdo that follows people home and, scared Christina Duran, and Mike Duran didn't even show up to court with his wife. What came and had to try to defend her need for this protection order without her husband even there. Now, this is what's interesting to me. This is something the Chronicle Tucker never showed, and this is why they're such bad journalists. Okay, so I want you to watch this car. You ready? Now watch. He's gonna do what I call the two-step. Two-step when you're a little buzzed and you're two-stepping. Him and Christina do. They both can't walk in a straight line. I find it very, very funny. But watch the two-step. Now watch, she gets out. Now watch her. He looks normal there somewhat. I know he does it though. Now she does it. 1, 2, 2 steps. See that 2 step? 2 steps. She's a little buzzed. And why is he backing out her car? It's because she's a little apprehensive. I mean, you can't really hit somebody's car if you go straight back, but if you're a little buzzed, you might. And look at her. I mean, she walked out and she did that little 2 step, walked out to the side. Here, let's watch it again real quick. I like it. Watch Christina get out. Alright. Watch her right here. She's gonna do a 2 step right here. 2 step. This is Aiden's friend. Aiden's talking about, people drunk driving. I think they're a little buzzed. Now, when she walks at an angle. Look at the angle. She can't walk. It's not straight. She walks in at an angle. Of course, they got text people take their pictures. So he pulls out for her. He gets really close to her, by the way. Look how close. Look at her set up. She's 2-stepped again. 2 step. You want 2 step? Do you want to 2 step? Some bullshit, bullshitting. Oh, look at, you realize the sign gone. So now we gotta, take pictures and have fun with that, which we're gonna do. Come on. So, look, he's taking a picture. Got to all his friends. Got to show it to Aiden. Got to show everybody. John got upset by blocking us in and look at the time right now. It's 8:36 at night. They blocked him for almost 12 hours. He could not get into his car. So then he gets into his car and he goes first. He should probably be following her. Oh no, I gotta get out again because something's so funny. He runs. Look at the way he's walking. I think they're buzzed. And when he called the police, what's great is when he called the cops, he said, how do I, it's the way he said it. He's like, how do I file a report? I don't know. Look at that. And then watch him drive off. Ooh, see that? Talking about driving, Aiden. Watch. There's the 2 step. And watch him all. Now he's in front of his wife. Now watch her drive off though. She doesn't stay with the line, which I find so interesting. Oh, I stopped it there. Anyways, when real video, when she drives through, she drives up like this, then she goes over there, and then you saw that 2 step in that Christine doing here. Yeah. Okay, so this part about I have to play it for this. I gotta unmute. I gotta real quick, so I don't know. Give me 2 seconds.
No, it's still on.
I was like, what's going on? Because his car blocked us in. And then I stuck my hand in there to try and tell him to leave.
Sir.
John Gall, administrative assistant to Commissioner Jeff Riddell, claimed that Mike Duran had punched him in the face when he called police. And if you go back to my Facebook, you can watch the whole thing. The 911 call is playing during that video, which is why I muted it. But it sounds like the recorder, Mike Duran, previously known as Mike Fetterman, changed his name for a reason, just admitted, I believe, that he stuck his who sticks her hand through to get a point across through somebody's car window? Sounds like he just kind of accidentally admitted to assault. Because John had claimed that about 30 minutes prior, and actually when they answered the call, they asked him if he was in the station because John Gall was in the station and didn't press charges, by the way. He could have absolutely pressed charges against the county recorder and, made his life a little more difficult, but, you know, was like, you know, we just, you know, got into an altercation and I just wanted to make it known. I don't want to, you know, he has kids, he has family. I don't want to, you know, take it further. I just want this reported. So as the victim, he didn't press charges, and he could have easily. And, you know, if I was anybody, I'd look into Fetterman's past, because maybe he has a history of aggressive acts. We'll just say that. You know, the more you know. Let's talk about Jeff now, though. Let's get off these negative Nancys. I want you, as Lorain County voters, people that are interested in Lorain County, to really get to know why Commissioner Jeff Riddell ran. What you've been seeing in the papers the last 2 years, what you've been seeing online, from, you know, the fan club, is nothing but hate. And I found an interview with Jeff, an Avon Lake interview, and I'll tag the full interview here. And he talks about his beliefs and why he's running, and I just really thought it was a good insight into who he is, because I don't really even know, I don't know him that well. I just have watched, you know, all the commissioners' meetings and just kind of stayed up to date. But I think us as voters, we should watch and discuss, because it's very relevant to what's going on now, and it'll be even more relevant tomorrow when we start going through 23 and 24 and what happened with the radio situation after the contract was rescinded. You need to know, you know, somebody's character, when somebody's character is portrayed in the media, the news, the newspaper, as being, you know, some, you know, guy that just is, you know, out drinking and not giving a crap and this and that. I mean, they did a number on him, and the way that they, you know, accuse people of, you know, being worse or being bad, or, you know, just because of a couple of acts that they've done in their life, it just negates like everything that they've worked for. And, you know, that's why it's important to, you know, get to know Dave more, and that's why it's important to get, you know, that's why I did an interview with him. It's important here to, you know, show who Jeff is before we get into the ugliness, because it's real easy to villainize somebody based on, you know, rumor, hearsay, and such. And, you know, Jeff makes a great point to that, is, you know, he says when people vote, they vote by, you know, what other people say about you. It's not always, you know, real information. So, like, you know, your reputation matters, especially in county politics. It's a very small, big, but small world, very small world. So let me, hold on one second. I gotta pause this. My son just came out. My daughter's supposed to be babysitting. Hold on 2 seconds. My husband's working, so give me a second. My daughter does not do what I tell her to do, and he lets the door open. Christopher, close the door. He just said he can't do it. Hold on, my son's autistic. He just does. Oh, children. My 16-year-old's like, ow. My husband's been working since 2 a.m. He's a workaholic. That's all he does, and he works all the time. But let's get back into this. Who is Jeff Riddell? Let's do the first interview I want to show you. Is one, how did you decide that you wanted to run for, oh, that's not the one. You decided you wanted to run for county commissioner. And why did he want to run? Here we go. System one. Share.
How did you read the commissioner?
Well, it actually wasn't a very complicated decision. Been involved in trying to bring competition, political competition to Lorain County for quite a while. I've been involved in things because I believe that government, when people have to compete to get their job, run for election, I think it tends to create better government. And when you look at some of the communities in Ohio that are doing the best, they're the ones that are 55, 45, or they're 42, 48, where the two political parties have some balance, and they can't be dictatorial. They can't be autocratic. They have to make sure that what they're doing is good for everybody. They can't just do whatever they want. And I think that the thing that struck me about running for commissioner was that back in 2020, we elected 2 new commissioners because people said they want to change. And this year, policies and his belief structure may not be in tune with people today, and they wanted to change. Well, then, let's remove the third one, because we've kind of reverted back to the same policies and stuff that we had for the last 70 years. And I think people want that to be updated and get more current.
What characteristics?
I like it. You guys like it? And I like what he said. He said, in 2020, we were going to have a change. So what does he mean by that? Well, in 2020, 2 Republicans, for the first time in decades, were elected to the board. And it wasn't until this CCI contract that Michelle Hung jumped ship and abandoned her Republican counterpart, and everything just reverted back to the way Lorain County did business. There was an opportunity for change, and change didn't happen because of this Cleveland Communications nonsense. She then aligned with the Democrat, Matt Lundy, and decided to, do what the Democrats did. She befriended them. I like the answer. Lorain County wanted change. They voted in, and she basically went, nothing got done. It halted progress. What does that do for the voters? Now, what was Commissioner Riddell's experience? What did he bring that?
I don't know as to quality, but it seemed like she was doing a good job and brought experience to the position and was trying to implement some changes. And when
Hold on. Yeah, that's
those changes became politically annoying, then she was given a difficult time at work, and eventually she left the county a very bitter way.
Oh no, I messed up. This is bringing experience, not his experience. I grabbed the wrong video. Hold on, we're gonna play that one, but I grabbed the wrong one. Let's see. I couldn't upload these to my thing because they're too many megabytes. Qualifications. Here we go. Sorry, I picked the wrong one. Or play that one next, because that goes into, once again, retaliation on
about 10
Commissioner
days
Hung's
and
part.
46 years, and things to own your own little family business, or in my case, I manage it for the family. I'm not the sole owner, but the buck stops at my desk. I can't pawn it off on anybody. I can't push it down the road, deal with it. And I think that the ability to not be afraid of a problem, to not think that it's too big to be handled, and to bring people into the solution and solved has been with the help of some of the customers and some of the employees. So bringing a collaboration to the table, you have to do everything. You have to.
I love that. You don't. And, that's, as somebody that worked in a small family business, it was, my aunt, my uncle, and I in the main office. My uncle taught me literally everything I know about business. I am so grateful for his guidance. I'm grateful that he made me answer phones and work my way up, really get to know the business. And like Jeff said, that's how you learn. You learn by pulling resources from other places, getting people that know better than you. Like you said, collaboration, management. And at the time, we're going on number 3, another person that was affected by Commissioner Hung and her friends was a woman named Jen Sinatra. She was the HR director. I haven't brought her up yet because I wanted to wait till today, but Jen Sinatra wanted to implement some changes to the HR department, the way they did it. They wanted to update healthcare, that'd be good for the employees. And she ran into a dead halt with, she came into problems with the Lorain County auditor, Snodgrass, and Michelle was nasty to her, even though Michelle was originally friends with her. But when, Michelle wasn't benefiting, she throws people away. That's exactly what she did, and then tried to also, put negative comments in her file. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to wait to that, but let's see what Jeff says about the situation first. Sorry, Jeff, Commissioner Riddell.
Very, I don't know as to quality, but it seemed like she was a job and brought experience to the position and was trying to implement some changes. And when those changes became politically, she was given a difficult time at work, and eventually she left the county in a very bitter way and with a very critical exit interview. And that we were doing a lot of micromanaging and those kinds of things. So I think what we need out of the HR department is we need to learn how to avoid, when we sign a contract, it's a contract. We need to manage people according to the law. We need to do reviews. We need to do step. And I come from a world where we had civil service, both in Lorain, where I grew up, and here in Avon Lake, we have civil service. And oddly enough, one of the few entities that doesn't have civil service is county government.
Okay.
All the jobs are appointed or given away. They're not really earned. We've got great employees. They do a good job, but there should be some process in order to, again, to transparency. If 3 people want a job and there's only 1 job, then the 3 should compete for it. They should test and interview for it, and they should be selected on their merits.
Okay, meritocracy.
So I think properly staffed and running would do that. The much bigger issue is the budget.
So Jen Sinatra, let's see what happened there, guys. I'm gonna pull up records requested her file to see what happened. And where's my Adobe? Where's my Adobe? Come on. I'm gonna do the whole thing. Okay, don't share the audio though. All right, Jen Sinatra. She was hired, so you can see me too. We'll do this. Jen Sinatra. She was hired by the Lorain County Commissioners as the Human Resources Director on August 1st, 2021. She wrote her resignation. Dear JR, please accept this resignation from my position as Human Resource Director under my appointing authority, Lorain County Board of Commissioners. Here is when she was hired. Okay. Oh, wait, no. Hold on. I didn't want to do all that because there's private information there. I went down too far. Okay, so 5/26, so May 26th of 2023. Please accept this letter of verification as employed. 1 year, 7 months of service with our agency. And who wishes to transfer over 420 hours, using 6 letters to balance 0. All right, what am I looking for? Hold on. All right, exit interview. Here we go. This is the exit interview Jeopardell just mentioned. On August 1st, 2022, I resigned from my position as the Human Resources Director under the Lorain County Board of Commissioners office. This exit interview is provided feedback on my employment in the hopes that the information contained will be seen as it's intended. Actually, I'm going to expand this so you can read it. So I don't think you can read it if my screen is up. There we go. There we go. My understanding of fully functioning HR department had existed in more than 20 years under the purview of Lorain County Commissioners, and so I was hired to build a team and bring all the HR functions together into one cohesive department, so that processes were streamlined and compliant. Failure to do so could lead to legal issues, poor morale, confusion, chaos, etc. I was excited for this role. Employees were excited to have a fully functioning HR department too. My first year plan was aggressive. In addition to streamlining all things related to the life cycle of the employee and the true overall assessment of all things of HR, I also started tackling projects. The first project was review the employee healthcare benefits. I'm going to skip all that. To begin understanding the healthcare plan, I spent a few months reviewing documents with representatives from various insurance groups and the broker for which the county engages services. Once the review was final, I put a PowerPoint document together outlining the existing plan and highlighting the advantages to the proposed plan. There were several meetings in executive session and outside executive session, telephone calls, and answering emails with the commissioners to explain in detail and make recommendations that would not have disruption to the population. The idea was to push out a plan that didn't negatively affect someone's provider, prescription, or other existing medical needs, care, and or facility. In fact, the employees would notice any changes except that it actually more services were covered. I had my HR team put together a calendar for each group we were to engage with to explain the changes. We're very interactive. Open enrollment, everything from the schedule to the agenda, the venue, and the presenters were planned out and were ready to go. All of this work and all of the changes by enriching the plan would have immediate estimated conservative savings to Lorain County of well over $1 million per year. Additional projected savings of about another $1 million would be realized over the course of the first few years due to the implementation of and improvement of many wellness initiatives. None of these changes would cost the employees any money, and they would much improve services. Commissioner Moore understood the proposal and was 100% on board with making the critical changes. Commissioner Hung and Lundy, team. Commissioner Hung and Lundy stuck together and said no without explanation. I went back earlier this summer to try yet again to discuss the needed changes, hoping they would agree to push out the improvements plans for year 2023. But I was told flat out not interested. Hung and Lundy wouldn't even agree to one meeting with me. This is the Human Resources Director. The county's broker and the county's actuary, so she wouldn't meet with the Human Resources Director, the county's broker, or the county's actuary to hear about this proposal again. The people who are elected to have fiduciary responsibility, the employees and the taxpayers. This ignorance and mismanagement of healthcare insurance misuse funds, just like misuse of ARPA funds. You see the pattern here. Another important measure I recommend early in my first year was to conduct a dependent eligibility audit. This is normal protocol that most organizations do, private sector, public sector, nonprofit, doesn't matter, to ensure that people on the plan should be on the plan. It's responsible management to ensure there's no fraud. But again, Commissioners Hung and Lundy decided to pull the project off the table and never revisit it again. No discussion on this either. As an HR director, I look at the culture of the work environment and enhancing employee engagement, recruiting, retention, and work-life balance. The culture and fairness of most everything evaded Hung and Lundy. They hijacked recruiting from the HR department, supported raises to certain staff members, but not to others. They didn't apply the pre-employment drug test consistently. My favoritism of the two commissioners didn't promote a healthy, the favoritism of the two commissioners didn't promote a healthy culture. It divided the staff. Several employees came to me asking if they still had a job after board meetings. It seems several people were regularly on the Hung and Lundy chopping the cause or merit. Any reasonable person in my situation would feel compelled to leave under the hostile environment perpetuated by Hung and Lundy. Their agenda was personal and flagrant. Fortunately, the things I was successful in accomplishing, the value of reviewing and putting forth the recommended changes, even if many were ignored, are what I'll take with me along with the wonderful employees, vendors, and consultants I had the pleasure to know while working for Lorain County. There is no value in detailing the hostility and interference I encountered every day in this exit. That information, along with the potential corruption by Hung, is all noted in the report from the Ohio State Auditor's Criminal Investigation Team, who requested to interview me recently. Now, this is on August 19th of 2022. So here's a letter that, she wrote, and I'm going to be posting all this, but August 17th to, JR about Lorain County Auditor Snodgrass. I forget what's my first name. About, the benefits. It says JR pursuant to our conversation as well as several previous conversations, please note the serious concerns this department has about the auditor's department as we attempt to work together to put programs in place that will better assist employees and streamline the administration of countywide benefits. At this time, approximately 8 months into the project, with calls between ADP and HR department and the auditor's department every single Tuesday, labor-intensive worksheets and gathering information occurring regularly, we, the department as a whole, now the project should be discontinued. We recognize and have now been told by the auditor's staff that they would like full access to the benefits system. Our carriers, Medical Mutual, Delta Dental, LixRx, and Anthem Vision. This absolutely is their attempt to usurp authority from this department and the Board of Commissioners and goes against ORC and the resolutions of this county. In addition, as mentioned numerous times previously, it has been demonstrated repeatedly throughout these 8 months that the auditor staff has no interest in working with us. Limits and controls our access to employee information, is often challenging and rude to work with, and is now attempting to manage our benefits program. At the end of the day, we need to have an electronic system that we can manage. I'm respectfully requesting we back out of this ADP HCM module and look up a standalone system that we own and manage. I fully recognize the Board of Commissioners will have to pay ADP for the 8 months of support to build the system. Another reason why it's unimaginable, we, the BOC, Board of Commissioners, has no say in the process. But even if we hear quotation marks, auditor staff will grant us access, it will, in our humble opinions, be disingenuous and temporary. I speak for us, all of us, but as always, and has occurred in the past, if you'd like to speak with any of the staff in the HR department, of course, I welcome it as they do. We are burned out and do not feel support, which is greatly impacting morale. I am respectfully requesting we pause this project at this point and I look forward to your response. So they were trying to make changes in, I should probably have read this. Okay, so the family benefits are under the Board of County Commissioners, and it seemed that Snodgrass, the Lorain County auditor, did not want to change. He didn't want to move forward and, audit the healthcare system for some reason, and really made Sinatra's life foul, and she just quit. And she said, we're burned out. And Jeff just said, we should be taking care of our employees. They, our he says in this interview, to customers come second. Our employees, how did he say it? I'm not going to quote it right now, but anyways, he basically how important your employees are for your business. I mean, you can find customers, but your employees and your customers are equal value. So you don't have a business if you don't have somebody to work it. You don't have a business if you don't have somebody that will buy your product. So I don't know who this is from. Though you're saying you're not sure to notify the auditor, I'm still learning the mechanics of how. Despite the board taking action, however, the auditor's office was not notified of the change. They require notification for payroll. A notice should be sent. Though I understand I did not instruct you to notify the auditor, I am still learning the mechanics of how to effectuate such a change. I rely upon the auditors to assist me in carrying out the board's instructions. Please assist me going forward. I have no idea what this is from, but they put it in her file. So then there's this typed memo about an issue. So usually when you have an issue with somebody in the office, you have the employee sign, you sign. There's usually, I've always had a witness in the room, just to make sure you're covered. But January 19th of 2022, a month before this letter to stop with the Snodgrass stuff, J.R. White, who was the administrative assistant, and then he went to the HR after the new board came in. But I think right now he's the administrative assistant. He said, on Thursday, January 13th, 2022, I met Ms. Sinatra in my office. We discussed areas of improvement, especially in the friction between the auditor's office and HR. She stated that she felt like she was going to be fired, and if so, she knew so much that would make Tom look like nothing. In the next sentence, she mentions talking to Dave O'Brien. Dave is a report for Lorain County Telegram, and he never reported it. This is the second time Sinatra has threatened bad press. She's disciplined or fired. The first time she made this threat was in late October, early November, when I was discussing with her the commissioner's displeasure that I was not fully onboarded with accordance to policy. Then when I was discussing with her the commissioner's displeasure that I was not fully onboarded in accordance with policy. I don't even know what that means. In addition, last week Sinatra informed me that Kurt Scholl had not been brought down to regular pay from the time he was replaced as the interim director, Jeff Young, current director. HR is responsible for advising the board and raise the sunset. So, and then he writes J.R. White. He doesn't sign it. She doesn't sign it. He puts this in her file. Now, this is interesting. Now, look, it says note 37, right? She's making a complaint about the auditor February. And then 37, these notes appear. But what's really interesting, just give me a second. Today received a phone call from the auditor. HR benefit module. Snodgrass claimed that Tony told the ADP meeting that Jen had ordered the product stopped and have not updated she for benefits in 2 weeks. She stopped the project. I met with Jen, Tony, and Adina this afternoon regarding the situation. They denied, can't read that word, or not updating if advised, and reinforce that whatever the truth they expected to go forward. So she canceled the project, but Jen told me in front of the staff she is looking for a job. The blank called herself a scapegoat in front of the staff. I asked her not to do that. So then she called herself a scapegoat because she's getting blamed by Snodgrass for not updating the sheet when he hasn't been working with her at all. And instead like, remedial situation, time the auditor to stay in his lane and do what the board of commissioners had instructed the HR lady to do and to cooperate. They then punish Jen, who just is trying to do her job with unruly dude. You know what I mean? Now, this is what I found interesting, though, is look at what he did to this date. Weird. Is that an 8/2? 8. She resigned August, and then he crossed off 3/16. So he made these notes for one month after this claim. And then Jen didn't sign this. JR signed this. And is it because of the letter, the exit that she submitted? He changed the date. I mean, look at this. You can't. It was the date that they wrote this, 8/2. She resigned on 8/1. It was written on 8/2, and the dumbass wrote 8/2, and then just tried to cross it off. Don't like black it all the way. Just half-ass. Look at 8/2. That's doctoring somebody's file, somebody's human resources file, which is good. And Michelle has a history of this. I had a meeting with Jen Centrov to discuss the PM. In the meeting, Jen talked of new projects, but expressed she wouldn't start them because she doesn't give a fuck anymore. She said she interviewed 2 times last week. Now, last week, because this is 8/2, and this is on 3/16, this is a month after she sent the letter about Snodgrass. And then here's another one, another write-up. And then he says she refused to sign. But here's the write-up violation. This is fucking questionable. Group 1 on May 26th. Okay, this is her write-up for May 26th in August. May 26th, 21, the commissioner took action to change something policy related to health benefit. You had been requested to change since March 2021. After the meeting, I advised the board had an action. Date here of refused to sign on 8/1. The day she resigned, she refused to sign the write-up that from May of 2021. Yeah, like she resigned. You can't doctor files and put them in somebody's file, and they're blatant lies. Look at 8/2. Like, he's writing these the days after she quit to cover his ass, or Michelle, not even his ass, Michelle's ass. She was questioning about doctoring Tom Williams. At stage. Sorry. Kicked me off my live real quick. Don't know why. My bad. Anybody that got kicked off, my internet went crazy. I can't remove this. Who got kicked off, but yeah, I mean, that's how we treat employees. I mean, that's no way to treat anyone. So let's go back to Jeff, though. So he said when he was running, he wanted to, router too. That's what drives me crazy. All right, are you gonna behave? My back. Come on. I'm gonna shoot up. Okay. That seemed to help a little bit, maybe. I don't know. So happy. I'm gonna be so mad. Okay. So let me mute myself.
In Lorain County.
Well,
The primary responsibilities.
well, the way that we're structured, because we have so many elected offices, people have a fallacy that they think the commissioners control everything.
Okay.
And the county recorder controls his own department, the prosecutor controls his department, and so forth and so on. Include the audit. What they do have is fiscal responsibility. The checks and balances in the system are that the commissioners are responsible for the budgets to run all the departments, and that they follow budget and they spend the money according to the budget, and that what they're doing is legal and appropriate. So the commissioners have more budgetary control than they have visionary control.
Okay.
But as you learn real early in life, from your ball, gold controls the game. So it is possible to steer departments in the right direction to deliver for Lorain County. It's just it's not a clear situation because the commissioners run it through the purse strings.
I see. What's the best preparation for?
I mean, he really says it. The county is the purse strings. It's my son. He's standing in front of the router. That's why it's doing it. It drives me crazy. The purse strings. They're really not supposed to be directing the boards. What they're supposed to be doing is actually maybe if I do this, get rid of this. I don't need this anymore. And go quicker. Oh, look, it's helping. Okay, there we go. Now it's boosting back up. I gotta look at my Google thing today. What he's saying is, we really don't, we're not supposed to really control what these departments are doing. We're supposed to hire the right people. What we're supposed to do is being ridiculous. Okay. What we're supposed to do is we're supposed to manage department heads. They're supposed to come to us with, requests that they need, they want, and we're supposed to be the authority to make sure that they're spending their money responsibly. So the whole fact of Michelle, hold on, I gotta tell my daughter to get him to move because he's standing right in front of my router, and every time he does it, it's blocking my signal.
how can you make the government of Lorain County more transparent?
Well, it's one of my campaign pledges. I'm very disappointed. Rudy, there's a lack of trust in government when people can't see it.
Okay.
And when they don't know what they're doing, and money's being spent, and they don't know why, and they don't know what for, and they don't know how we got to there. I think that leads to where we're at today, which is people they kind of have a no tax. They don't want to approve taxes, no new taxes, because they don't know what their elected officials are doing with the money they already have. And if you want my money because you got a better idea than me on what to do with it, you got to sell me on that.
Yeah.
You got to tell me that you're going to spend this dollar wisely. And so I think that when you talk about transparency, I think that we currently hold about a 40 to 60-minute meeting on mornings. We hold them in the evenings and people can come. And we hold, by their own admission, you can't know what goes on in executive session because that's the whole, that's protected by law. But when you have a 3 or 4 hour private meeting and decisions are, and the people can't see if they in the stew, they have time things going to. When you talk about pledge to do whatever it takes to get the budget on, so people see that we're spending so they could get some comfort of what's happening because they work hard, they pay taxes, they want to know what you're doing with the money. And I think when he was the state treasurer, and he got a national award for transparency because you can't hide if you got to approve it and put it on the website. You can't hide from it 2 months later because it's on the website. And so I would add to that when we write those checks and we say we're going to spend $2 million for something, but 100,000 of it is going to this entity, 200,000 is in this contract, 150,000 is a third. I think people see where that money goes, because I think people are smart enough to see if the money's being with friends of friends of friends or whether it's being spent truly in the public interest.
Under
Still muted. I hope you could have heard me. I'm sorry. So what he brought up at that point was Lorain County commissioners, we're holding executive sessions and nobody understood, really what was going on. They didn't put out their budget. They didn't show you what their budget was. They just kind of threw numbers out there and people just kind of had to try to follow along what they did. What he lived up to his campaign promise that, he was going to be transparent. I think there's been 3-4 hours of executive session and he's put the bills up online of his budgetary items at every meeting, and they put it on the screen so that people can see. They changed meeting dates so people can attend. They do one in the morning and they do 2 in the evening. So if you can't make a morning, you can make an evening. They've made it more accessible. So he did what he said he was going to do. Now, he's going to talk about here is what we need to do to improve the citizen benefit.
How can Lorain County
Campaign pledges, I'm very disappointed. Rudy, there's a lack of trust in government when people can't see it. Money's being spent and they don't know why, and they don't know what, because they don't know what their elected officials are doing with the money they already have. And if you want my better idea than me on what to do with it, you got to sell me on it. You got to tell me that you're going to spend this dollar wisely. And so I think that when you talk about transparency, I think that we currently hold about a 45 to 60-minute meeting on warning. Don't hold people control by their own admission. You can't know what goes on in executive session because that's the whole, that's protected by law. But when you have a 3 or 4 hour private meeting and decisions are made and the public can't see what went in, if they can't see what it went into the stew, they have a hard time thinking it's going to taste good. And so I think when you talk about transparency, I have pledged to do whatever it takes to get the budget on the website so people can see that we're spending $2 million
He just accidentally paid that twice. I didn't mean to. My kids got me all flustered. I can fix it for my guess. That's the thing about you see it. Share. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it off here, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna upload these videos.
I just want to be, I want to be Commissioner Lorain County ever had. I feel seriously about the idea of representative government, that whoever's sitting in government should have paid taxes, should have lived in the community that you're going to serve, so you understand things, and then if it makes sense to you, it'll probably make sense to a lot of other people. And so my goal right now is to get elected in November, have a successful term, and hopefully convince somebody else from the private sector to step forward and do the same thing.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
You don't see many career politicians at that level of life, of political life. But for some reason, we've had a government above seem to have a preponderance of career political office holders. And so at the end of the day, I think they lose touch with the changing world. And I think they lose touch with the voters because they're interested in getting 51% of the vote.
I see.
Maybe not doing what really needs to be done, or not doing everything that needs to be done.
Understand.
So I think that's the I think the representative form of government is the reason, and that's the reason I'm doing it. I'm retiring from the family business, and I want to do this and try and make some permanent change so that my family and friends and neighbors and the others can enjoy what I've enjoyed. We've had kind of a falling on hard times. You know, in Lorain County, we're part of the Rust Belt. As I told my daughter who's taking over the business, you know, there's a little over 23,000 jobs that are not 74. That's a big number.
Yeah.
That's a big number. So when you talk about opportunity, I think everybody should have the ability that their kids and their grandkids can live where they live, and that they don't have to leave the area unless they want to, okay, to find work. They shouldn't have to leave home to find work. They should be able to find work here at home.
Understand.
So what Commissioner was saying there, you know, when he was running, this is before he was elected, was, you know, you should be able to stay, you know, in this county. We need to build, you know, Lorain County for the betterment of our citizens. And then he spent the last 2 years getting, you know, bashed in the paper, bashed in the meetings, and through all of it, to be honest with you, through all of it, they still got a lot done. I mean, they put up with a lot of nonsense, but they got stuff done. They got a new contract with Broadband Telecommunications. They've been working on the Elyria Mall. They got the transit done. All while Michelle Hung and her, you know, cronies just worked on this, you know, CCI safety forces thing. I mean, she tried to die on that hill and lost miserably. But I just wanted to give you a little context of who Jeff Riddell is. He's not talked much about in the newspapers. I also wanted to give you context here of the retaliatory behavior of Michelle Hung and the people that have been affected by it that didn't run for county office but are working in the county, that want to make changes to better our future. And all Michelle did was put obstacles in the way, and, you know, people hurtled over them regardless. So sorry about my children here a little bit there. You know, my son can be a piece of work. He's an ear infection, so he's not the nicest person right now. But I'm gonna get off of here. You all enjoy your Saturday, and I'll see you tomorrow night, where we'll be going over the last half of my timeline and the sheriff's investigation. Like I said, I just wanted to do something light this morning. You know, talk about John, talk about Jen Sinatra, and talk about Eden Fogel and what he's been doing, and talk about, you know, really who Jeff Riddell is, and that he doesn't want to be a politician. He literally just came in to do this as a duty. He felt a duty and a service, and he, you know, worked his off to win by 136 votes. And, you know, your county commissioner is, you know, more important than the presidential election, and people don't vote on off presidential years, and that's what we need to start changing. Your county government will affect you more in your lifetime than the federal, and ultimately it's home rule. Your county is home rule. Your county controls your county. I mean, your life. Think property taxes, you know, sales tax, water, a ton of stuff. I mean, it's unlimited. And, you know, the entire time that Michelle was in office, she worried about a radio contract, and worried about, you know, her goals. And it seems that, you know, Jeff and Dave have worked towards helping. I mean, the new transit thing alone, that you can phone app now. You don't have to wait, 2 hours for transit. You have your government dollars working for you. We have a plated mall that we invested money in to help the Port Authority, and we'll get a return on that investment. And all of us will stop looking at a mall that is torn down and abandoned. And that's been a huge project. They ended up going through the healthcare stuff and got a better healthcare program for their employees with more options for, services. So a lot has been done in the interim that doesn't get reported about. And, before you believe, a news story in the media, you really got to ask yourself, does this really make sense? Does this, do I know all the facts here? And really not allow yourself sometimes, to be influenced by just because they're a newspaper. Because I'm telling you right now, Chronicle should fire Dave O'Brien. He is by far one of the worst reporters they have. He literally gets on the phone with all of these people and just creates a narrative they want, and it's a popularity contest. And hopefully I'll be here to help you out a little bit with that. But tune in tomorrow. I'll be posting a time here shortly after talking to my husband, because apparently my teenagers suck at watching my son. So you guys stay focused, Lorain County, and I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll be going over the second half of the sheriff's investigation. I hope you enjoyed getting to know Commissioner Jeff Riddell, and seeing a kind of retaliatory behavior on Commissioner Michelle Hung's warpath. We'll talk soon. Thanks for tuning in.